Hey everyone, AC5 here for the review of chapter 78 of One Punch Man, the manga, not the webcomic, because that one's already more ahead in terms of chapter. Okay, the point is that this is the review for chapter 78 of One Punch Man. Man, I keep doing these manga reviews. Like, these aren't even the mangas I'm scheduled. Like, well, Mob Psycho wasn't even like. Okay, the point is that so really what happens in this chapter is that so we begin with Speedo Sound Sonic. Guy Saitama I think beat twice. Yeah, I think he beat him twice or three times already. At least twice, I know that for a fact. So, wait, yeah. So he finds two guys who apparently are very quick, especially compared to him. He's like he's supposed to be like fast, but they're like faster. And then we realize that it's because they ate monster cells. They ate the monster cells that turn into a monster, and so now they're monsters. And apparently, this allows them to go much faster than they ever thought possible. And even Speedo Silent Sonic is like, what the heck? These guys are so fast. And so what happened is that so they're apparently from like, I don't know if they're from the same village as him, but at least they've done the same like training as him. So because of this, they kind of sympathize with him and say like, and even though they're monsters, they're able to control themselves, control their minds because they were trained very harshly, like with a lot of dedication and practice. So their minds are, I guess, fine, and so really all they can keep their human forms or transform into to monsters whenever they want. And Speedo Sound Sonic, or I'll just call him Sonic. Sonic sees this, right, and he's impressed by them, and they offer him a monster cell to become a monster himself, so he can beat Saitama because he still wants to beat Saitama because Saitama has always beat him. So, um, so he receives the monster cell, and then before he does anything with that, we see um, that the heroes are having a little issue with Marshall Gorilla, which is one of the. I think he is one of the monsters that that he defeated an A rank hero, and so he thinks highly of himself and wants to fight and probably possibly kill more heroes. And so he's just waiting for heroes. Some heroes pop out, and one of these heroes includes Zombie Man, but they don't show themselves to what's it called, to Marshall Gorilla because Zombie Man wants to be stealthy with it. So he waits, and but suddenly we see that Armored Gorilla, yes, the gorilla from the House of Evolution, the one that fight against what's his name, against Genos, who, and like he's a cyborg. Um, he ends up coming across like Marshall Gorilla sees him, and Armor Girl is just getting his groceries, and he has no issues with like the or no problem with the monster thing. He's whatever, he thinks whatever of it. But once Marshall Gorilla basically tells him that it's wrong to be with the humans, to act like so fine to well with them, he tries to stab him or cut him with his knife. But considering he's a freaking cyborg, the knife just breaks, and then Armored Gorilla just straight up knocks out Martial Gorilla by punching him in the face, and then he just gets on with his day. So and then after that, we go. So it kind of goes between Sonic and Bang. So Bang kind of discusses like Garo become like if he like has become a monster, like the fights he's encountered, like to the training, like how Garo isn't so weak, like even though Saitama just straight up like did he punch him? I forgot what he did, but he basically just made him fly into a wall like nothing because that's Saitama, right? And so um, he's so Bang wants to defeat Garo because of him defeating the heroes and maybe becoming a monster. So while that's happening, we also see Sonic. So he decides that you know what he's gonna eat the monster cell because he's like even if he loses his humanity, it doesn't really matter because once he lost to Saitama, his life was over anyways. So well no he doesn't eat no you'd think it would be that easy just Sonic becomes a monster. No, it's not that easy. In fact, what he does, well, it's not that he had an issue with it. He had an issue with it eating it raw because he compares it to a meatball where it's like why would you eat this raw? It's like it could have bacteria, it could be infected, you don't want to get germs, I guess, and like you want it and raw is kind of gross, and eating something raw like a meatball is kind of weird, so you'd think monster cell would be the same thing, right? So he grills, he sautés, he does all this, like puts oil and then cuts it up and does all this stuff with the monster cell and eventually eats it like very politely, in a well mannered way, like eating it with a fork instead of just chomping on it, And instead of getting powers, instead of becoming a monster, he gets the runs. So that's fun, you know. Um, so in the in the never mind. In the webcomic is way different, so I can't really. He doesn't become. I don't. Does he? I don't remember. The point is that so he gets the runs instead of actually becoming a monster, and people say this, say the reason why it's like it could be either it's like a slow thing where it takes time. If you cook it, it takes more time than if you just eat it raw to take effect. Or a lot of people are thinking, how you kind of get rid of the bacterias and chemicals uh, by heating something up, like not burning it, but like cooking something. It gets rid of bacterias and chemicals and all this stuff because you're kind of burning them off, like they kill the bacteria cells and stuff. Think of this kind of like the same way, I guess you could say, where basically the idea is that um, when he cooked it, he basically just made the monster cell dead because he just burned it, right? So it just turned into a meatball, I guess, a monster cell meatball with like no like the cells are just dead now, or the cell is just dead now. So it lost its effect, and he got the runs because I don't even know what's it made out of, right? So uh, it could be that like it lost its effect because he cooked the monster cell, and that he just ate something that just made him go to the bathroom. So that's kind of funny. And honestly, I wouldn't even like to see Sonic as a monster anyways because I just like the way he is now because it's kind of comedic whenever he meets up with Saitama, and him being a monster wouldn't really change. Like Saitama would kill him then because he doesn't kill humans; he only kills monsters. And also, like Sonic would not beat Saitama even if he became a monster. Let's be honest here. So yeah, I give this chapter an 8. Definitely interesting. Nothing too big happened. Um, I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait until the big thing that happens that happened in the webcomic, because it seems like the mangas take a different approach, way different. Where let's just say it's a lot different than what the webcomic does, but it's definitely interesting, and hopefully it's a good lead up to the big event that's gonna happen at the end of this arc. So again, I enjoyed the chapter. Interesting, Sonic being funny again. That's always cool. And seeing Armored Gorilla again was pretty cool. He doesn't seem that bad of a gorilla person. Well, not person, but gorilla. Because now like he doesn't really care. He's kind of like Saitama. He just he doesn't care. He just like if someone bothers him, he will do something, but if they don't, he won't do anything. So I guess that's cool. And yeah, that's all for this review, and see you guys later.